All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. It's Connor back from this old farm. Let's see how many people we can get on here today. Sorry about missing last month's live stream. Kind of slipped away from me. I think that should have been during the point of when I was off of the farm, kind of thing. Oh, let's see. Nobody's wanting to join yet. Hopefully somebody comes up here soon. Yay, we have somebody. Pardon me. Somebody's joined. Let's come over here and we'll show you guys the tractors. We got the 3 tractors over here, 3 of the letter series. A little bit of a different sight, isn't it, without the Super M there? We got Mr. Super M moved, and we're actually going to come over here and grab his grill. We're going to move some of his parts are over here yet. Still, all I got to was moving them last night. But if you saw our post, the little post there from last night, we got the Super M in the machine shed. Finally, something's happening with them a little bit, kind of. We got out the machine shed cleaned out to get the Super M in there, and hopefully what that's going to signify is a little bit of an easier time to work on it, kind of thing. Make things easier for as far as we won't get snowed in with it. You know, we'll be kind of out of the wind in here, and I might be able to myself get the head off. I'm kind of, what my hope is here, let me get this, it's a wheelbarrow in the way. What I'd like to do here, where's my camera option? There we go. What I'd like to do is be able to try and somehow use the rafters to kind of hook onto the head and be able to pick it up that way, and then I can maybe slide, I'm thinking about running a board across here, or across these 2, and then I can maybe, slide whatever I use to hoist it up, slide it across, and then set it down alongside here on a nice clean piece of cardboard. But he's in here. We got him in all the way last night. I did mostly. I just took Mo, and if you remember, he was in this way, so this would have been the barn. So if we're thinking of over there, he'd be facing in from the... Hello, Tara. He'd be facing in, this would be up against the barn. So we just pulled him out backwards, and then I pulled him. I did it all by myself, amazingly. I was able to stop and turn the wheel as I needed and stuff. But he's in here. We got him in. And so hopefully we can get that. And I got to get that. I'm still trying to find a machine shop that I can bring that head to that I got for it up there. But I can show you quick. I messed with it a little bit last night, and I went through and took off. We had one of those. Actually, if I come... Sorry for flipping the camera around like crazy. If I move some more junk around... I didn't quite get everything set back from last night, but if I come deeper into the realms of the machine shed and into the dark, not anymore. If we grab here, of course it's going to get hooked on every single thing. He had one of these, a coolant heater that would... It hooked into the block. It was underneath the carburetor there, and then it went around to the opposite side of the head where let's see, it would be this part that we had the water temperature gauge going into, and that just basically heats up your water, of course, and in turn heats up the engine. So I went through and took that off because I decided we don't ever use it in the winter anyways, so there's really no reason to have that water heater on there if we don't even go through and use it. Plus, it's a gas engine. It can start really easily in the winter with the choke, of course, because of the carburetor, and so it can warm itself up, basically. It doesn't really necessarily need it, so, but like I say, we won't use it in the winter anyways. It just pretty much will get put on the hay rake. I think that's my plan anyways. So, but he's in here. We'll be able to get the head off hopefully much easier, and finally start getting something happening with this stupid tractor, because he just keeps sitting around, and I'm sick of him sitting around. The M diesel still hasn't gotten into the garage yet. We still got to finish that yet, actually. Hey, Icon, and I forgot to say hi to somebody else. Hey, Nathaniel. Oh, Mr. Icon, I have something to show you that I was talking about. So we have, if you watch the latest video from Plow Day, you'll have noticed this, our new idea cut conditioner here is what they call it. And the reason why we haven't done anything with it, why it just sits here, if we lift up our hood here, you can see he's kind of in a mess. That's the gearbox, and that should not have a hole in it. Basically what happened, oh, he's wedged in there, darn it. For some reason when Dad was using it, something, I have no idea what happened, and it totally busted the bottom of that gearbox out. This is the bottom of that gearbox. It's still holding on to onto where it mounts. This is the PTO shaft. It's completely bent. You can see right there. If we come in here, it's got a big old crease in that PTO shaft. So that's why that doesn't get used. That's why you guys don't ever see any of this. You can see it's wedged up into the tire there too. I think that's just because it got set down, but yeah, it's that's the reason why that's just always sat there, if you've ever noticed it in videos. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Hey Scott, how's it going? So if we come over, I'm gonna come over back by the tractors again, and show you another little project that I worked on recently. You guys might recognize this. This is usually that, if you go onto the channel, kind of the main area sort of thing, there's that chopping corn with the Farm All H, and this is this is what we used. And what happened is it got so muddy this last winter, or this kind of winter fallish, whatever you want to call it, that Dad was having troubles getting moved around with the backhoe, and he hit the pipe here with the back of the backhoe and busted that pipe up. So I pulled it out of there. I had to I went through and made a new hitch here for it, just a 2x4. It's a little bit too long for it. I think it's 8 feet long from end to end, and I think it should be like 6. It's a little bit kind of squishy, we'll say. But this is now out of harm's way, we'll call it. It's hopefully, I'd like to use it again sometime soon, but it's kind of hard when we haven't planted the garden at all, so we have nothing to run through it. So, otherwise, I don't know what else to really talk about. We got corn stalks to chop. Today we have a little 5-acre field. Amazingly, we're still chopping. You can see we got no snow on the ground, or cutting, I should say. So we have to go cut up some corn stalks, and then we're gonna try and rake that. No, that is actually IHC. That's international. But we do have, walk back that way again. We do have that Gale corn chopper there next to Mo that we used to use before we pulled out before we went and bought the John Deere one that we've got now. I can't remember what model this one is. Let's come take a look. There is a tag somewhere, and I can't remember. I believe one of them here is okay, that's the one for the head. This one over here next to Mo is our model number. So if we come down here, he's a FH84, just in case you're curious. That's what we used to use. We actually used to take the M diesel, and we used to chop corn with the M diesel and this, and then our big Load King chopper wagon. And then of course, once we got the 806 diesel, the Anderson, who's way up there, then we started using that on the Gale chopper here. And of course, then we got the John Deere one, and the reason we got the John Deere is because this one was not, it doesn't blow very good. It can't send the corn up the chute very well. It kind of get my words together here. When we would run it, it would only send it to about middle way of the wagon, and so it doesn't. We went and bought the John Deere in hopes of having that problem solved, and of course right away it didn't. But this fall we figured out that that it so happened to be the blades were out of adjustment. There was too much gap in the what do they call it now? The chop in the, I can't remember the name of it, the blade box or something like that. So it wouldn't send the corn up very good. And once we fixed it, after we had the thing basically blow apart, kind of, and after we fixed that, we asked the old Facebook world how to get it to blow better, and they suggested tightening up the gap for the blades, and sure enough, that fixed. Yeah, blower band. I think that's what they called it. What do I want to do with these? I got the push rods for the Super M here in my hand. Trying to figure out where I want to put them. Set them on the front end. There we go. Come on, Mr. Chain, get out of my way. All right, here we go. Just trying to move things from the Super M. All I got last night was able to get the actual tractor in there. I wasn't able to move things with it, kind of, sort of thing. So I still have to. What do I got left? I got the hood and a couple of, I think, his alternator and the oil pipe that goes over the rocker arms. I got that to come in there, and his muffler, and some antifreeze too. I think some coolant that I pulled out of them. Lots of things to move, but it'll be much nicer to have them in the machine shed to work on. Nothing new with any of these guys yet. I haven't ordered. I got an order from Steiner that I need to just go ahead and hit the go button on, that I haven't done yet. That's going to have, let's see, it's going to contain the parts for the M diesel and the Super M. It's going to have some governor springs for the H's there. So hopefully, I'm hoping that if I put that new governor spring and cushing, that's going to stop him trying to do his spazzy rev thing that he likes to do. And then we can get that. We can start using them. Because I'd really like to use cushing. It's kind of hard to when he's trying to go so spastic all the time. So he's just kind of being deemed out of commission right now. Stupid spiders make all their cobwebs. It sticks to everything. So yeah, we got that. What else do we have? Oh, I went through, and the 806, if you guys remember, has that MCV pump issue where it doesn't have enough pressure to drive, or if you have it at idle, it doesn't like to drive or steer or have the brakes work. That's kind of all intertwines together with the MCV pump there. And they have this steering control valve, I believe is what they call it. And I went through and there's a couple of O-rings that go into that, on that steering control valve, that I went through and bought at the international dealer. And so we have that to go through and rebuild, or essentially reseal, I guess it would be. Man, that's heavy. Got the hood now for the Super M. So we gotta go through and rebuild that hydraulic steering valve pump, whatever you want to call it, so that we can hopefully get our control valve, or our hydraulic drive issues, MCV issues. Man, this thing's loud and heavy, and I'm hooked on it. What am I hooked on? Hooked on my pocket. Now we're good. So yeah, we're gonna go through and we have to rebuild that. The kind of annoying thing is we have to take out the battery on the one side because it sits right directly behind the battery, and the cab kind of makes it tight. Hey, Crazy Dave, how's it going? So we gotta... That'll be sort of a project. I just gotta probably wait till the snow falls because we keep seeming to use them. I want to put those O-rings in it, but we just continue to use it. If it's ever down, it's kind of an inconvenience, I guess you could say. So we have to... I just have to wait for that to get to the point of where I don't have to worry about it getting used, essentially. So there, now we got all our parts in there, in with the Super M. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about today? We could talk a little bit about our little new plow that's not really around me right now, but hopefully that thing will work. Let's come show you guys. I don't think I've ever talked about this little dozer of ours. Let's come up here, up by my car. We'll come up here talk a little bit about the John Deere 350 dozer. So we got him in this little kind of makeshift shed thing that we got from somebody. And basically, if we come in here, you can see the hoods off of them. Go figure, John Deere being dead in the water. What is it now? The fuel return line. So you've got your fuel line here that runs to each of the injectors, and then you've got it comes out the back here, and that goes down, and I believe returns back to the fuel tank, which is back there. And what's happening is we have a hole, because it sits right up against this, I'm guessing it's a firewall. There's a hole in the return line. So when you start him up, he likes to go full tilt, probably because it's sucking. Jeez, just about fell over. I'm thinking what's happening is it sucks air from that hole and pulls it back, and then drops it down into the cylinders or something like that, and it kind of gives it a shot of lots of fuel when it first starts. And so but it also, after you get it running, it leaks a bunch of fuel. So we have to go through and replace that one of these days here. It's kind of wish it wasn't parked in this shed because it's so freaking tight. But we've got that to repair. You can see we put bolts in. He's got these goofy sand cleats, which they don't have as much, what do you want to call it, as much grip. If we come over to, we'll go over to we got a John Deere 440 crawler that's kind of just a parts thing at this point. We tried to get it running. Or we could just, that's got let's say we could go look at the International TD9, but that's got the same kind of cleats almost, it looks like. But if we come over here, we can flip it doesn't have as good that's what we put the bolts in for, was to kind of create some better traction. But that was really only good for the snow. It didn't really do much help when it was like muddy out and stuff. But if we come over here, you can see that these have a lot better of they have the grousers, I want to say, that's what they call them. And they have that helps you with better traction. But it's a little 440 John Deere. I think it's just a 2-cylinder, yeah. It's just a 2-cylinder, little gas engine. We did have let's see, I think we were at the point of trying to start him. I can't remember if we ever got him running or not, but he just kind of sits here now, the poor little guy. Should sell him to somebody that would be able to fix him up. But yeah, that's that little guy. He just kind of sits there. Yeah, they might be. I never thought about that. I don't know. I wonder though if it would help, or like if you've got I don't know, maybe I'm being stupid here, but I've just wondered if it would disperse the weight too much, that it wouldn't do as good a packing job. I bet you though, this guy here would do a really good packing job with how heavy he is. But this guy will probably never we'll probably never see the day that this guy runs. He might just end up being a parts unit too. I've been kind of looking at Facebook Marketplace for TD9s, which is what this guy is. He's got the draught skid shovel, whatever they call it. Yeah, they call it a skid shovel. We bought this from a neighboring farm, kind of for plans of fixing it up, I think, and to basically, hey Ryan, basically to do what that John Deere one is over there. But this is it's missing components out of the pump. I think Dad said the starter is missing. I think it's locked up, probably too. I know the tracks are seized. We dragged it home with the tracks just skidding across the ground. I really have no clue how good a shape it's in. The tank is missing the cap on it, you can see, so that's probably all rusted out. It's kind of just in rough shape, but we'll have to someday. I'd like to find another TD9 and fix it, or use that one for parts if it needs it. The one that I find needs it, I should say. Uh-oh. We got Dad that's on a hay bale, and was just a snap. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. It's a Ranwin parts kind of thing. Supposedly, I think what Dad said is that with it having the starter gone, they would sit and pole start it. I don't know how I know they're kind of a bigger farm. They've got some of the newer Case IH Magnums and stuff like that, so I'm sure they just kind of yanked that thing around. But yeah, I guess that's what they just pole started it, I guess. I'm not sure. Hopefully they did it on the gas side, otherwise they're probably trying to wreck the head. Kind of like we were doing before we got the M diesel to start on gas again after we rebuilt the magneto and all that. But let's see, there's not much more going on around here. I mean, it's kind of course, with winter, it's kind of slowed down a lot. We've just been amazingly still baling and stuff. I've been kind of trying to get things set up for winter, like you saw there, get the Super M in the machine shed here behind me. And what else? I got to do, that's another thing on my Steiner order. I got a thermostat housing gasket. I have to go through and replace no, a TD9 does not have the same motor as the M diesel. A TD6 would have the same motor as M diesel. But the TD9 is actually a bigger one. That's a bigger motor. Same exact thing, essentially. It starts on gas, switches over to diesel, but it is a bigger motor than what the M diesel would be. But yeah, Mo H here, he's got to have a thermostat replaced in him. Hopefully that's what the issue is. If you get going downhill, he likes to overheat. Yeah. And didn't they make a WD9? I thought that would be the same, I suppose. Wouldn't it? Same as the WD9? It's kind of funny that they didn't make yeah, that's what I thought. It's kind of funny, though, that they didn't make a row crop version of the 9 series. Like, they've got the M diesel, which is the same as the TD6 and WD6, but why didn't they make I don't know what you would even call it. It'd have to be a whole another letter on its own, probably. But yeah, this guy's still got to get in the shed yet, or in somewhere. If we get the Super M fixed this winter, or hopefully before winter, we're gonna try. I'll probably try and put the M diesel here in the machine shed where the Super M is. The nice thing is I'll be able to start this guy and back him in, but he's got that rear main seal leak, of course, in him. So we'll have to go through and split it, which I'm not looking forward to, but it's got to be done. Because I'd like to have him back for this winter. Oh! I just thought of something. Mo, he had the power issue. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I said something about it in a farm update video. We had a power issue with Mo where well, essentially he just had a kind of a loss of power. He didn't really have a whole lot of guts to him. And I think what the problem was is spark plug wires. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. They kind of that I think like an RC tractor there, like you say, they would be kind of wouldn't have exactly a purpose for it. It'd be a little bit bigger than what anybody would need. But the spark plugs, I think, or spark plug wires here on Mo, I think, was causing my power issue. He seems to be. I've done a couple sort of tests on him, we'll say, and I think he's doing a lot better now. He would probably Squatch. I don't. He might know some parts for the TD 9 is. I don't know. I know he's a lot. He's kind of seems to be more about the Caterpillar stuff. Let's see if we can set up the camera here. Nope, he's not gonna wanna. He doesn't want to work here. Yeah, he's kind of more of Caterpillar guy. I think. Why can't I find a place to just set the stinking camera up? There we go. My hands are getting cold. It's cold out here today. Yesterday was actually kind of warm out, but it's cold out here today now. But yeah, Squatch would probably be more of a Caterpillar guy. Like if I had a D6 or something, this is probably the somewhat equivalent to that TD9. I'm not sure exactly, totally, what would intercross kind of thing. But yeah, that would be. I know there's one on. There's one. Yeah, he might have knowledge on that. I don't. I know the only problem with the gas start diesel internationals is they're so. If you have to rebuild an engine, which I think is going to have to happen on that TD9, it's a lot of money. You have to really fork. I mean, even just the M diesel there, you have to fork out a lot of money to do, and with that being that TD9 being a bigger motor, I would imagine is going to be a lot bit more expensive compared to the M diesel. If you can even find a rebuild kit, you might have to go new old stock and find a old original international made what do you want to call it, rebuild kit. Hey, Agro. Yeah, that's kind of what I know it's rather hard to find for the M diesel there, so I would imagine that the TD9 is going to be a lot harder. Is the TD9 a 6-cylinder? I suppose we could go find out. Or I could go find out. Let's go take another walk here again. Just walking all over. I'm getting my exercise in today. Let's go find out. We'll go find out here. You have to give me a moment. He's kind of on the opposite end here of where I am, sort of. But we'll go take a look at the injection pump and see what that's got for injection lines. Because honestly, I don't know myself either. I've never even thought about that. What kind of, how big of a, I know the 806s are 6 cylinders, but I know the 560 was a 6-cylinder too, so that doesn't really matter. Let's come over here. All right, here we are. We're back at the Dozer, and pump is on the right side. Let's take a look. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our answer. Yeah, they could. Though this shed isn't necessarily anything, but the barns could use a good cleaning. Well, the machine shed needs a good cleaning, is more or less what we should say. I hate it. I hate that they're all messy, but not a lot I can do. Dad's got more power or more say on the farm than I do, which I'm kind of amazed that he let me put this Super M in the machine shed. But yeah, if we I know I'm kind of, with the machine shed here and how messy he is, let's go, we'll flip the camera back around here. If we go, I'm gonna have to find a way to get around the back side here, which might be interesting, might require some climbing. That, or I could just take the easy way, which would be smarter. Let's be a little bit smart and not make the camera so shaky. My off the farm job is, because of COVID, our governor is kind of starting to lock back down the state, and although he's leaving the choices of whether to have kids in school. See, okay, I should first say my job depends on students being in school. So currently I'm a substitute custodian. Of course, I can only work for a part-time job because I am during the school, I can only work a part-time job during the school year because I am still a student in high school. Obviously, I'm a senior. So I can't work an 8-hour job. And anyway, my job that I do depends on students working being in the classroom. So with the school district having decided to they've now decided to bring all students out of out of school. What did they do? So they had us in a hybrid. They had students there was an A and B day. Some students would be full distance, some would be A, some would be B. Then they sent high school and middle school students home as COVID cases started to rise again. And now they've sent elementary people home, or elementary students home. So when there's no students in school, that means I have no position. So I'm kind of in the process of trying to find a new job right now, because I can't, with my plans of trying to buy up more equipment like that plow and stuff. Like, I probably shouldn't have bought that plow, but I couldn't pass up how good of a deal it was. So currently I'm trying to kind of find a new job. I'm still technically an employee of the school district, but I am trying to find someplace that'll actually pay me right now rather than having to wait on COVID, which, I mean, I don't necessarily need to have a job right now, but I'd like to have one. So that's kind of the story on the off the farm job. I'm not really working right now, but it's probably not such a bad thing, because we just ended our trimester at my school, so we have, so I had not working actually left me some time to do catch up on some schoolwork I missed. So there is an overhaul kit. For how much do they want for that icon? Just out of curiosity, I bet they want a pretty big penny for that, for that overhaul kit. Just considering that the M diesel in them are so expensive, I have a pretty good feeling that that the TD and WD9 ones are pretty bad. But I want to get back to what I was. No, I'm not sitting down. I wish I was. I was half tempted to sit on the stump. Anyways, this is what my worry is with the machine shed. You can see it's kind of falling apart. I don't know how much I've showed you guys about this, but you can see that his foundation is pretty messed up here, and I think really the only thing keeping this shed standing anymore is that tree stump. Oh, okay, that's not terrible. That's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more expensive than that. But this is kind of what my reasoning is for not cleaning the machine shed. Yeah, $500 a cylinder. That's not terrible, I guess. I mean, I guess the worst part about costs with the... Okay, I'm going to sit down now. The worst parts about costs is probably if you have to have the head rebuilt or done up, because usually those things have cracks in them, I've heard. Or, well, pretty much every IH guy knows that these gas start diesel engines, their cylinder heads are pretty much always going to be cracked. I gotta take this off, I'm getting hot. They always have cracks, those cylinder heads, for some reason. I think it's something to do with the shutdown process that caused that. They didn't realize that you shouldn't shut it down on gas or something like that. I can't Can't exactly remember what all the story was for those. I bet Icon knows, though. He's probably typing up a storm right now, trying to say, hold on, Connor. But yeah, this is what keeps me from cleaning the machine shed here, is this. He's about ready to fall down. I'd like to try and save him, but I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be possible with this here. This is pretty rough. I mean, if we look through this side, we can probably just about see the Super M, maybe. Oops, sorry, I just sent a stick at you. Okay, maybe not. But I know you can kind of look in and see it, but yeah, this is pretty rough shape here. Probably doesn't help that these trees have been here rotting it away, sort of. Yeah, that's what I figured, is that it's, I thought it had something to do with cooling down time and something like that. That it wasn't ever, nobody let them cool down enough, like you said there. What the heck is this here? I just found something that I have no idea what it is. Let's see if you guys know what it is. I don't know what it is. It looks like part of a harness or something. I don't see anything else that goes with it. Huh, interesting. There are all sorts of cool finds around this place, I'm finding. A lot of stuff the cattle dig up too. Which is probably how this made its way. This is actually, the back side of the shed here is actually pasture. Yeah, it's a thingy. It's a leather thingy. Maybe there's other, I don't see any other cool things. Could show you do a walk behind of the All Crop 66 here, the Alice Chalmers Combine. You guys don't get to see much of that. I'd like to, I'm trying to, we might be, where we're currently cutting corn stalks, we have the kind of the opportunity to be able to farm some of it, or maybe all of it. It kind of depends. I don't know. The owner isn't really wanting to plan yet until the start of the next year. But I would like to try and plant some grain or something to use this all crop behind or with. I'd like to be able to use the old wooden grain drill there that I want to rebuild, kind of to plant that, and then use this. We used to use this all the time, this all crop, and then we used it with the M diesel, and then for some reason, not sure what happened, but I think it was like the owner would plant the grain or whatever, and then kind of had my dad come through and harvest it for him. I'm not sure exactly how that worked. I'm looking at this belt here. It looks like he's about ready to fall apart. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but we kind of stopped doing that, and so now it just kind of gets sits around and does nothing. What the heck is that? Oh, it's an old plowshare. Gosh, we're finding all sorts of things here today. There's an old plowshare for, I think that was IH 2 bottoms. All sorts of goodies around here. See? Old glass bottle. What the heck is that? Oh my gosh. Look at this. It's exploring with Connor today. Huh, that's very interesting. Here, let's turn the camera. Let's set it where you guys can see it here. We'll turn the camera around. There we go. This has got this little ringy thing. It looks like it's supposed to be like nailed into a wall or something. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's probably what a shear for a walking plow. You're probably right about that. Although why it's back here, I have no clue. We'll leave our little goodie tray here. This is actually an old granary. If we go, let's go walk back around and I'll show you guys that. There's an old milk jug. If we go around behind the hay baler shed here, and we'll go all the way around. A little bit of a farm tour, kind of, almost. If we come over here, there's the John Deere corn chopper This is actually a granary. You can see they would open up that window, I think is what they would do if they had an auger. I don't know how they exactly loaded it, but there's these, they've got these walls here. There's a big long one, and then there's, I would think, there's two small ones there, and I'm guessing they had another one here. But you can see we've just kind of turned it into a sort of a storage place. There's one of the 706's old tires. A couple off my truck, and just some other ones, random ones, some old fertilizer boxes for the John Deere planter. I'm not sure if those ones, they look like they're kind of rotted out. They're probably no good anymore. I don't know, just kind of some miscellaneous things in here. But that's what that is. That's what they called the granary. And then another thing is the machine shed here has a corn crib on the side of it. So what would happen, we've actually had this thing filled up before too. What would happen is there's that doorway up there up on top, and you would open that up and then put your elevator up there and just load up the corn. There used to be a door here. You can see what's left of one. And that's your corn crib. I think this is what they used on the farm, because we brought in, there's those two over there. We brought those two in, as well as the grain bin. They never used to be there. I've got there's a couple of old photos on the farm that I should try and sort of make a video of, or kind of add to a video just to show you guys. But this would have been the corn crib that they used. This is kind of why the machine shed is good at it takes away some of the draft, but of course there's still a draft, because you had they wouldn't put a wall on this side, because otherwise your corn would heat up and rot on you. But we have had it filled up in here before. I think we had it all the way up to the top there. I can't remember. I know we used to pick a ton of corn, and then for some reason we stopped. There's a little door here I just noticed. There's a little opening here that they must use for grinding corn with and stuff too. But yeah, let's flip have the concrete troughs in the floor for the drag conveyors. I don't know. This is the floor. Are you talking about the other ones? The troughs in the floor for the drag conveyors. I've never heard of such a thing. This is the floor in this one. You can see there. All right, there we go. Now we're back. My phone does not machine shed for some reason. Now I'm getting. What am I doing when I graduate high school? Well, I'm gonna find a full-time position. Find your video to watch. Huh? I've never heard of such a thing. Icon of that. You'll have to. Be neat to see what they show for that. But Scott, when I graduate high school, I plan to just kind of start working full time. I really don't have intentions of going to college right now. If I do, it'll be a technical college. I don't really. I'm not interested in a 4-year school kind of thing. I'd rather do, a couple. I would be all for an apprenticeship kind of thing, but I really just I'm more of course, as you see here at the farm and stuff, I'm a hands-on guy, so I could never do a 4-year school. My high school as it is drives me nuts. So I'm planning on just starting to work full time right after high school, but there might be college. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. 2-year ag school, yeah, that would be a good option as well, to find some good better agricultural techniques for the farm here. I know Dad kind of wanted me to pursue that sort of things. Yeah, there definitely are, and like I say, it would definitely be kind of a I'd be going to like a technical college, whatever you want to call it, because I'd rather be sort of in that kind of industry, like with automotive or whatever you want to call it, diesel tech and that kind of welding, that kind of sort of areas, as that would be. So there's a couple options that I've got. That just trying to pick one is kind of the hard part, but right now I'm kind of just set on, I shouldn't say set on, but right now I'm just kind of looking at the path of a full-time career position. Yeah, that'll be the, well, they're already hurting, I'm pretty sure. They're already wanting to have us kids in them. I know my one shop teacher at school, he likes to we get the people from UTI and that kind of the technical colleges, like, the couple local ones are Anoka, what is it? It's just Anoka Technical College or Hennepin Technical College are local here, or there's the big the big one in the United States that's called UTI. I can't remember. I'm not sure what they stand for, or what the acronym stands for, but yeah, we would get those guys in a lot. He would bring those guys in a lot and have them do the career talks kind of thing. Yeah, that would be another thing, is kind of go work at an equipment dealer, kind of that diesel tech, and sort of work your way up kind of thing. I know we have a friend in our tractor group that is, what is he? I think he's just he just works in the, Dunwoody. Yeah, we used to pick up some of beer mash for feeding the cattle, was right by Dunwoody, I believe. But what was I talking about? Oh, the friend that he works for Case IH he's down in Nebraska, but I'm not sure exactly what he does down. I know he's I believe he works in the shop and fixing up customers' equipment. But that would be another not bad route to go, working for a dealership and try and work your way up kind of thing. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened to Dad. The backhoe has been shut off. Not sure where it went. Not sure where he went with it. I don't know. I don't see him. Interesting. But we're we're starting to try and get ready for going to cut corn stalks here. So I don't know when he wants to go do that. That would be the question thing. Which probably is going to be, we'll probably end the live stream here. I'm running out of things to talk about, of course. And we've gone on for almost an hour. That's definitely plenty long for a live stream. Right now, an up-to-date tractor is sort of a kind of a in the air subject, we'll call it. We'd like to try and find some more land that we can call our own, rather than renting stuff from people and trying to like, what do I want to call it, worry about being kicked off the land and that kind of thing. So we want to try and find our own, and that's kind of paused the option for buying a newer tractor. Dad was looking at getting a John Deere M Series tractor, which is sort of I want to say he said it was like a lighter duty kind of a version of another series of John Deere tractor, something like that. But we never did get one, and I'm actually kind of glad about that, because I'd rather of us have an international Case IH tractor. Oh, I keep burping up now. The Gleaner behind me is a Gleaner F. If you go what is it? I think there's a video of us after the 2019 Now Then threshing show of bringing this one home. You can hear it run and stuff. There might be the preparation for the 2019 Now Then threshing show. I believe that we might have had that running in there. I can't remember. You'd have to. I know there's a lot of trying to get it started, and you'd have to skip through. Skip through a lot. Okay, let's see here. Okay, sounds good, Icon. Thanks for that. I'm looking forward to that'll be what I watch tonight before I go to bed. A lot of the parcels, there's not really a whole lot of land up for sale around us. A lot of them that are for sale, they wind up with houses built on them, kind of thing. But there's a 40-acre lot that we were trying to purchase, and the seller was just kind of, I shouldn't say the seller, I can't think of what they'd be called now, but the representative for the seller kind of sort of thing was kind of not wanting to, they were kind of being a jerk about it, we'll say, to put it bestly. And that fell through, and now it's being developed, of course. I think you guys have seen that some. But we've been farming that land that they're developing with the areas that haven't had houses built on them yet. We've been trying to farm what's open yet, and there's a low swampy sort of area. No, it wasn't the real estate agent. It was like their there's a name for it. It's like a attorney for deed or something like that. That's not the name. That I don't even think that's a position, but it's something along those lines. Like it's an old farm couple, and their daughter or something like that was helping them, or is helping them sell their place and kind of thing. And so she was the one that kind of didn't really make it be able to happen, or made it not really be able to happen for us. I know I think the prices, are getting kind of high. Yeah, they're growing. Dad calls them weeds. The houses, he calls them the land weeds or something like that. Hi, John. Yeah, we're power of attorney. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, that's the name I was thinking of. Power of attorney. She had that. She has that, and kind of there's something to do with the title. I won't go into the whole explanation of it, but there was this. They wouldn't let us attain the title, kind of thing, and that kind of thing. All right, Scott. Well, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. We're probably gonna end this here pretty quick, anyways. We're getting close to an hour here. We're actually about 4 minutes off of an hour, or no, 6 minutes off. So, yeah, we kind of talked about all I want to talk about today. We're just kind of, at this point, it'll be, yes, it does need to be cleaned up, and there's not a lot I can do about that. Not a lot I can do about that. Unfortunately, I'd love to clean it up, but it's just not really of my capability. So we'll come just to the edge of the machine shed here, and you guys can get a last little shot of the Super M in the shed where he's gonna be for hopefully only part of the winter. Yeah, it's kind of more so just the continuous accumulation of junk, really. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff just sits around here and doesn't get used. It's really kind of annoying, pathetic that they're just crap. Like right here, there's the bottom of a grocery cart. Like, why do we have that? I just don't get it. What are we going to use that for? I shake my head, but there's not a lot else I can do. I don't have much more of a choice. I can't get rid of stuff because it's not my farm yet. It's still technically Dad's, but once I take it over, we'll start up the cleaning process and getting a lot of the junk that's like right here in front of the machine shed and stuff. I mean, there's stuff obviously that you could, like rims and things that maybe should be kept, but like I don't even know what that is right there. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I'm sure this would be the time to sell or start selling stuff, but it's just like I say, there's nothing. My hands are tied. I can't do anything. I don't have anything to haul stuff out with. That little Explorer. I mean, while it can haul that plow home, I think it says on it that you can only haul like 3,500 pounds, and that's including the trailer. So my hands are tied. There's not a lot I can do about a lot of the junk around here. And some of it's kind of art and stuff. Yeah, see you later, Crazy Dave. I hope it would be fun to run into some of you guys on the channel here eventually. Hopefully I'm hoping we have a threshing show in 2021. Sorry guys, I did the wrong button. Are we live? My thing's not counting. Hopefully we are. Okay, there it's counting again. Clearbox wagon in your tractor. Yeah, unfortunately there's no scrapyard. There's no scrapyard near us. It's the closest one is about, like, I want to say 10 miles, or maybe it's just under 10 miles. But that's the closest one to us. We have no closer recycling center. Hey, Farmall Fanatic, how's it going? You kind of joined us at the end here, though. We're kind of starting to wind down a little bit. Stupid geese. Shut up. But yeah, there's a lot of junk around here, a lot of stuff that could get gotten rid of that just, like I say, it's not up to me to be able to get rid of this stuff. Like, we got this, if you look under that pile, there used to be a visible, yeah, Canadian bombers. That's a good one. I've never heard that one before. But if we look under the, under there used to be a spray tank, and now of course it's just covered in junk. It's frustrating. It frustrates me. This kind of stuff is what grinds my gears. And there's nothing I can do about it. I hate it. But someday, one of these days we'll get some cleaning up vids probably, or something of that sort. Possibly. We'll definitely be getting rid of junk. Now, it'll just be the question of, do we film it or not? Yeah, we could do that. Somebody came and stole all our junk. Be happy. That would be a good way to do it. I think I'd get a pretty big frown after that one, though. Yeah, you can buy a tractor and a land. The problem is he's got that doggone farmer's mindset of never throw anything away, and you know, there's always a use for this or that or what have you. And it's my mindset is when you get a shed that looks like that machine shed, where can you can't find anything. It's pointless to have this stuff if you can't find it. Just Super C. I'd rather have a Super MTA or yes, Super MDTA, a diesel, a Super MT. what am I trying to say? A Super MTA version of our M diesel back there that we gotta get in the freaking shed already. There we go. We hit the hour mark. We've talked long enough to make it an hour. That, or if I can't find a Super MTA, SMDTA, then we'll just go that way. I'd like to find a SMD at least. I believe there's one on, what is it, Facebook Marketplace right now. I can't remember if it's an SMD or SMDTA that they want $7,000 for it, I think. That's the problem. Everybody thinks with those SMDTAs, everybody thinks they're gold. Which, I mean, I get it that they're sort of rare, but I can't imagine that they go for that much. And the thing's not even restored. It's in its working clothes. Does that WT Farm girl, does she have a Super C for sale? I haven't watched her before. I need to check her out sometime. I haven't ever watched any of her videos. What's up? She hate the thing, or what is it with the Super C? Oh, somebody's getting a load of hay. Talked out of it. Is she looking at buying one? Now you got me. Now I'm gonna really have to go check. I'm gonna have to go check her video out after this. Now you got me curious. You've sparked curiosity. Oh, sure. I could see that. I mean, who wouldn't want the comfort of a modern day tractor? But oh. Yeah, I don't see the thing with the Super C is I don't know what we would use it for here. I mean, we kind of don't really have any uses for our H's. So the Super C, I would think, would be a little bit kind of out of the sort of, what do you want to call it, need for a tractor. I mean, we kind of have no need for yet another tractor on the farm as it is. We're kind of getting to the point where we have a tractor for each and every job here on the farm. Yeah, I gotta agree. When you get an ice cream box like that one up there, you could definitely, I appreciate the open air a lot better. I like running the 706 with having no cab on it, because you get a lot better airflow. That or the other 806 with the Henniker cab, because that one gets a lot better airflow. I think the best thing that would be for this to have a Super C would be for cultivating, and we can't really cultivate because our planter is messed up or something like that. That's why we pulled them off the H, because we couldn't cultivate with it, because the one of the rows was bent on the planter, so we'd run one over all the time. That would be kind of neat though, converting two H's to make a kind of a miniature 2+2 almost, a Snoopy. It'd be kind of a makeshift Snoopy. But that would be, could do that with take Cushing and find another one. I wouldn't want to use Mo to make a 2+2 out of. He's got too much sentimentality to do something like that. He's the first, Mo H back there is the first one that was ever on the farm. Yeah, that'd be kind of I know a lot of farmers do that. They buy enough tractors to have for... Could do a, yeah, 2-bottom plow for a Super C, but that's only, what, once a year that you have to use it? I mean, we've got the big 5-bottom for the 806. We don't really have a need for the 2-bottoms. The only reason I bought that 3-bottom was for plow day. Yeah, I remember that about the 400s, and I think I've seen, what else? They do, there's been a couple other things, too, that, besides the 400s, that they've done like that, I thought I've seen. There was a guy on Facebook the other day that had 2 M's, I want to say it was, that he had sort of a setup like that with the 2 hooked together kind of thing. Except I think his front one still had the front, he still had the front wheels on that. I think he just had the extra one was just kind of almost like it was just attached to the tractor base, the front tractor almost, like he was pulling another one. But yeah, that's kind of, we don't really have a whole use for a Super C on this place. We're kind of slowly growing bigger, kind of starting to need to be bigger than the 806s. We kind of need to go with like an 86 series or something like that. I'd like to get an 88, a 5288 or one of those 88 series. A trendsetter, yeah. My gosh. All sorts of racket going on around here. Just Dad trying to break things is what that is, I think. See if we can find him. Maybe I'll find something interesting rather than looking at my ugly mug. Where is he? There he is. Here, we'll flip the... There you guys go. You can see a little bit of the Ford in action. It's trying to smooth things. You can see a lot of the... Around here is a lot of very rutted up area, so he's trying to smooth it out. But the problem is it started to freeze again on us. It was muddy like a week ago, and now it's all frozen. You guys can yell at me more for saying that it's all messy here. I know this is not our fault. We can blame this one on the cattle when they get out. The cattle get out and make a mess. They trash our garbage bags and stuff, and then it never gets picked up again. Probably can hear the wheel bearing too on it. It's going bad. That's a project for someday. We'll get a little closer. Yeah, it was a tornado's fault. We could blame it on the hurricane. Say it was a hurricane. Really confused people. This whole area right here in front of the right directly in front of the camera at the bottom of your screen, this was all mud a week ago. Yeah, the snow will cover it. There you go. Yeah, next spring we'll probably get around to being able to clean it up and stuff. Just kind of hard because you clean it up and then that garbage bag of the stuff you just cleaned up, the cattle get out and then they trash it again. So it's kind of, in a sense, it's almost pointless to clean it up because it just winds up on the ground again. I don't know if I could ever go with the JIK tractor, Caleb. I think I'm too big of an international guy to find a different brand other than for Ford. I could go with a Ford tractor. I've been trying to find a Ford 4000 because this one's a Ford 4500, which is basically a 4000, just the industrial version. I'd like to find a twin for him. I've never been around. I've been around, if you guys watch Kenny Kizzle, I've been around his, he's got that Case SC. But other than for that, I've never really been around a JIK's tractor before. It'd be kind of interesting to see. TW35 would be a not bad tractor too. Yeah, I know Dad was looking at, I can't remember if it was a TW35 or what it was. But it was a bigger Ford tractor like that. I think it had four-wheel drive on it too, which is kind of what we've been looking for, is another four-wheel drive tractor. Or I shouldn't say another, we don't have one. We're trying to find a four-wheel drive tractor because since we do so much low ground, we get stuck a lot. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what Case tractors go for, so I'd have to have you guys help me. You guys able to hear the wheel bearing on it too? That's going bad, I wonder. Yeah, that would be, I'd love to have a 2+2 someday. There we go, there's our cleanup. Just plow it with the tractor. Okay. Now, what about the VAC? They have that. I see a lot of people ask on the international pages on Facebook about a VAC. Where does that fall? It's not bad. It's about the same price an 806 goes for, but that's an 806 is about 95 horsepower. I think they rate them for. 806 International. Oh, okay. So he's kind of the smallest of the, or I shouldn't say the smallest, but kind of the middleman, maybe. Maybe he is the smallest. My hands are getting really cold. I gotta find a better way to hold it with my left hand here so I can warm up my right. Yeah, okay. Wow, that's pretty cheap. I mean, granted, it's not running, but that's not bad for a 86 horsepower tractor. They sound like they go pretty cheap, them case tractors. I've heard, I heard an acronym, and you can go blame Squatch 253 for this one. That I heard that they he called it a can't afford something else. That must be why they're so cheap. Boy, we got to use Pat for some censorship. I don't know if you guys caught that in the background, but I won't explain what was happening. You'll have to go back and rewatch maybe. I kind of had to laugh at that one with Squatch. They can't afford something else. It's kind of different. Man, that wheel bearing sounds bad. But anyways, I think we're gonna end it off here. Tractor shuts off, and so does this, I think. Unhook the we gotta unhook the battery. The key switch doesn't work on it anymore. So, pick up the shovel here before he gets run over. So I think we're gonna call it quits. Time to go cut corn stalks.
Yeah, probably.
So.
Start Rosie first. I like starting them when
Well, maybe we'll hold off here a minute. We can do a cold start with you guys on the 1806 here. The one with the baler. Hi, Tractor Hyatt. Not much. We're just getting ready to cut some corn stalks up and possibly bale them too, I think. We got the 806 here on the baler still. We'll come up here. I'm kind of guessing that the button's not going to work here today. But we'll see. This one's cold-blooded. The other one's not really, but this one is. Let's see if it... Yes, it is a cold day up here today. It is a very cold day. Pull that off. We gotta get to the air cleaner. That's what Dad's doing. All right. Turn on the fuel and see if the button works. And it's alive. Yeah, really. I gotta do 2 hours to that, or I just need to get them set up earlier so people know that it's happening, and then start it up after an hour or whatever. You want me to go get the other one started? You want me to get Anderson started? All right, we'll go do a cold start on this one. This one doesn't usually need ether. You guys get to see the cold starts of the 806s here. All right, we'll grab the key. Put the key in the ignition. Maybe. There we go. Turn the key on. Clutch and fuel on. Here we go. There you go. There's another one. Cold started. This one we gotta get the cutter hooked up to. Get going here. Here we go. Not quite back far enough. But I'm gonna head off here, you guys, so we can get cutting corn stalks up and keep, so I can keep trying to get this going a little bit. So. Take you here. Okay, I gotta get in the cabin. We're a little messed up. We're getting it hooked up here. But yeah, we gotta focus on this. So we'll talk to you guys out later. Thanks for coming to the live stream. See you later.